Is this the sign? Is this the sign of the coming of the Mahdi? Is this the trigger? Let's put it that way. Is this the trigger that will cause, or that will have a, if you like, domino effect on the Muslim Ummah, and that would lead to the coming of the Mahdi, Dajjal, end of time, Yajuj and Majuj? Would this be the one? So what it is that I want to talk to you about today. Now, I'm not saying that this thing is absolutely going to make sure the coming of the Mahdi is here, or that something very, very specific thing to happen in the future. This is not what I want to say in this video. So if you're here to say, oh, brother Syed Mahmud mentioned about this thing, that means the Mahdi is coming close, or it will happen through this event. That's not my point. That's not what I would encourage you to understand from this video, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that the hour will establish and nobody will know. La ya'lamu illa Allah. Nobody knows the hour except Allah. So what it is that I want to talk to you about. Now, before I mention you this specific sign of the Mahdi, and we have all seen it every single day. We are seeing it coming on our news feeds, on social media, mainstream media, everywhere. It is there. It is so obvious. It is so clear. It is as if somebody is rubbing it on our faces. Let's put it that way. It is so obvious. The interesting thing is that this particular thing started in 2014, during, or you can say after, the Arab Spring took place. And a lot of people, they say, you know what, Arab Spring, what happened in Tunisia, the guy, who gave up his life, this all things meant nothing. Eventually, nothing happened. Because a lot of people from the Muslim Ummah, they anticipated something big to happen. They were saying that, you know what, maybe inshallah this time things will change for the believers. By the way, I want to tell you, if you see the glare on my face or on the back of my head, please ignore. I'm trying my best to get rid of them, but sometimes I can't. So a lot of the people were anticipating something big to happen through this Arab Spring. Now, Rasulullah, he mentioned, I will mention you the hadith first, and then inshallah I will mention you this particular sign that I want to talk to you about. So Rasulullah, he said that La taqumu as-saatu hatta, the hour will not be established, okay, hatta yaktatila fi atani dawahuma wahidan. So basically he meant that the hour will not be established, means this is going to be a condition or precondition for the coming of the Sa'ah, that these two groups, okay, they will fight dawahuma wahidan, and their dawa means their calling will be one, which is La ilaha illallah. So two groups fighting each other, calling people with the same calling, La ilaha illallah, right? And so this hadith, if you understand this hadith, then I'm going to tell you how this hadith came true. Dear sisters, 2014, when or during the Arab Spring, we have seen a lot of changes. And after some time, people just went back to sleep. Muslim Ummah, we thought, yeah, Arab Spring, one-off blip, nothing else is going to happen. So we kind of relaxed. But the reality of it is that things are not normal. Things are not as you want to see it, or as most of the mainstream media are showing us. Things are very, very different than what we see on media. So 2014, this is what happened, and that's what happened in Yemen. The Houthi rebels, they came out with La ilaha illallah. Their actual name is actually Ansar Allah. They're from the Zaydi tribe, Zaydi Shia group. Okay, this is who they are. Ansar Allah, they came out and they said, we are going to get rid of Yemeni government and we are going to establish our Khilafah, our Hukumat. Now, obviously, because they are from Shia, Iran helped them, And US, they stepped in and they said, you know what, we cannot let Iran have influence in that region, so what we're going to do, we're going to do airstrike. So they coalesced with Saudi Arabia, UAE, and other countries in that region, and they said, you know what, we'll just go in, defeat Ansarullah or Houthi rebels, and then we'll have lunch. That's pretty much what their plan was. But lo and behold, 2014, they started airstrike in 2015, and now it is 2022. Things are only getting worse. The point here is that I'm not saying this is the sign of the coming of the Mahdi. However, what I'm saying, this could well be that trigger. The reason for that is because, number one, as I said, it is getting worse. Number two, it is happening right at Saudi's doorstep. Only a few hundred kilometers away from Mecca and Medina. This is where this conflict is taking place. Only a few hundred kilometers. In other words, if there is going to be an escalation, then there will be a huge problem for the city, the holy city Mecca and Medina. And we know, dear sisters, without any shadow of a doubt, the hadith, all of them refers that at the end of time there will be fitna, right? There will be a lot of turmoil. People will face unrest coming from Mecca and Medina, civil unrest, military unrest. There will be it will be huge, problematic and very, very chaotic. So when I say this event can lead or can be the trigger for those chaos, fitna, end of time fitan to take place. That's what I'm saying, and this is what I mean. Because this is going on for quite some time. It is not just for a year or two. It's now how many years? 8 years. And the worst part of it, even though we all want peace, we want this conflict to resolve in a peaceful way, nevertheless, nobody is coming on the table. There is no way they are going to negotiate. MBS and Mohammed bin Zayed from UAE and Saudi Arabia, they said, you know what, we're gonna go there, destroy them, come back, have our lunch, and khalas, done deal. But looks like there is something else happening here, and that is that Iran is helping them prolonging the conflict. Now, obviously, Iran has a lot of interest in that region. Of course, their main primary target is Saudi Arabia. And they know the Mahdi. Now, you ready? This is the most important part. Iran knows the coming of the Mahdi cannot be possible. Their Mahdi, not the Sunni Mahdi that we believe in, coming from the household of Rasulullah, coming from Hassan, not Hosein. The Shia believe he is coming from Hosein. They know that this coming of the Mahdi that they're waiting for, which will be most likely Dajjal unless they repent and come to Sunni Islam, they will meet Dajjal. So they are preparing. They know that coming of Mahdi cannot be possible. Ready for the main point? Unless they have upper hand in Saudi Arabia, especially in Mecca. Without having authority, over Mecca and Medina, Shia Iran cannot have a Mahdi. He will come, he will appear from places, it doesn't matter what Shia believe, Zaidi believe is, where Mahdi will appear, this place, that place. At the end of the day, everybody knows. Without Mecca, Medina, you cannot claim Khilafah, you cannot claim to be the Mahdi. Iran knows it. Iran's main goal target is Saudi Arabia. Now what they're doing, of course, Iran is developing nuclear weapons. They are having missiles, they have cruise missiles, ballistic missile, you name it. Iran has progressed a lot. They're preparing in any way, shape or form possible. They're not going to be preparing only for religious side of it. They're also going to make preparation from military perspective. And obviously they know the Khomeini government of they know that this, or according to them, they believe that these countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, the Middle Eastern countries, Egypt, Khomeini said, you guys need to repent. This is the level of hatred they have. I mean, I'm not saying I love MBS or I love Mohammed bin Zayed or I love Sisi. No, I'm not saying that. They are their place. We'll talk about them later on. What I'm saying is that they have hatred. Khomeini, Shia, just like, probably maybe less than that, just like they had hatred against Abu Bakr and Umar. So the Shia, they are going to take it to the next level. That's my point. Shia, they're not people who would just sit back, relax and be like, oh, one day we wake up, we become the Khalifa of the Muslim Ummah. They know that is not possible. They need to do things. They need to take action. So they are continuously trying and trying and trying, sometimes in Afghanistan, sometimes in Palestine, sometimes they go to even Venezuela, many countries. They need that upper hand. They are continuously doing things. Inna sa'yakum lashatta. Allah said in the Quran, indeed your efforts are diverse. They are people who do not only talk, but also take action. Something very, very interesting came up. I just want to discuss this with you guys. I hope it will make sense. I don't know. I don't think I'm an expert, but I hope it will benefit. At least it will be a reminder for all of us, for all the Sunni Muslims, inshallah, to understand what is happening. Jazakallah khair for tuning in. New here, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.